I'm Torsten from Kids to Talk. Today I'm going to be talking about food chains. So first, what is a food chain? A food chain is the chain of our diet. So our other animal diets, which start off with producers and then consumers and then decomposers. So starting off with the producers. The producers produce their own food like trees, grass, plants, and other different types of trees, grasses, and plants. So first, let's go on for a good example, trees. The trees use sunlight from the sun and water that get collected by the roots and carbon dioxide from the air to make their food. So that's how they survive with their food. And then next, the consumers. There are three different types of consumers. There's herbivores, or omnivores, and carnivores. So herbivores eat the producers, but they only eat producers like trees, grass, and plants. They do not eat other animals or other consumers. So, for example, there are a few types of birds, zebras, deer, and other animals that just eat grass, like giraffes, and yeah. So, these are herbivores. They all eat the herbs or producers. Next, we have omnivores. These eat the plants. They eat trees, plants, and grass. They eat them some, and then but they also eat other animals such as carnivores and herbivores. They might eat a few like that. So the next level, before I go to the next level, carnivores, a few types of omnivores are bears, because some of them eat berries and some of them eat plants, but also some bears eat fishes and other animals. And then another example is us humans, because I'm vegetarian, so I'm a herbivore, but other people eat herbs, plants, not grass or tree leaves, but we eat wheat, and that comes from there. So yeah, most humans eat wheat. And then some humans also eat chicken or, other meat. So, yeah. Next, carnivores. There are many different types of carnivores. The T-Rex, that was a type of dinosaur, was a carnivore. It ate other dinosaurs and other animals that back then at the time. So a few examples of carnivores. They only eat meat, so they do not eat they do not eat plants at all, or trees or berries or stuff. So humans cannot be carnivores because every human has to eat a plant to get their nutrition, because just eating meat will give a lot of protein, but not other stuff we need. So we can't just survive on just eating meat. So, examples of carnivores can be crocodiles and a few birds like hawks, because they only eat animals. They don't eat, and frogs, they don't eat plants, they just eat insects, and insects is still a type of animal, it's a different group of animals, so it's still in the animal kingdom. So frogs are also a carnivore, and really anything that only eats meat. So yeah. So carnivores are kind of like in the top of the consumers area, and then omnivores are in the top or the middle, and then herbivores are usually on the bottom. But of course, producers are in the full bottom. So next, we have decomposers. So decomposers decompose like in its name. So like earthworms, they decompose dried leaves. So decomposers don't like actually eat carnivore stuff. They just eat dead stuff. So if a carnivore dies, they eat the dead remains of the carnivore. So that makes them good to the top. But again, if you're drawing a food chain or a food web, it gets kind of annoying because sometimes you have to draw a double arrow because some birds that are kind of in the bottomish food chain or food web area, they are so like they eat earthworms, right? Sometimes, if any of you guys seen a bird pick up a worm and bring it to its nest, well, I haven't, but few people have seen. So when like it makes them, you might have to draw a double arrow because if the bird dies, the worm can eat it, or other decomposer examples, like some insects decompose. So that means you have to draw a double arrow because the worm can eat the dead remains of the bird, or the bird because if it dies. But again, the bird can eat the worm because birds eat worms. So sometimes it gets annoying to do that, but still it's part of a food web or food chain, mainly in a food web. There are different types of food chains. There are food chains and food webs. Like I was talking about, food webs are more like a web, and the producers are always in the bottom, like usual for any type of food graphs. And then next, of course, is consumers, and then the top of the consumers, and then the decomposers. Sometimes it's just scattered. Like sometimes the producers sometimes will be in the top. Just, I don't know why, so it's just scattered. It's a web, okay? It's hard to organize the web. Well, anyways, there's also something called like a food triangle, which is with all different types of producers on the bottom, and then it's like a triangle shape, and it just keeps on going. And then there are different biomes of where food chains can be drawn. Like for example, in the like Sahara, the Sahara Desert in Africa, there might be a lot of desert stuff. Like I'm not sure there's any producers in the Sahara Desert because it's just sand. Well, yeah. But for a Sahara stretch, like a grassland or something, there can be grass as the producer, and then above the grass will be something that eats. So maybe like maybe zebras will be there. So because zebras graze on grass, and other things and other animals that graze on grass might live there because they eat grass and grass is there. So, there also could be animals that eat the animals that graze or eat grass. Like lions, they might live there because they eat deer, and deer graze on grass, and grass grows in grasslands. So that can be a food chain, and of course, there'll be earthworms nearly everywhere you go because they like hiding under the dirt, and then when they smell, because they have a good sense of smell, and then a lion dies, that means they will go up with their other group of worms and eat the lion. Or maybe there was a dead zebra or dead deer, so they might go and eat them. So yeah, that's it for all those types, and that's it for this video too. I hope you like this video. Bye bye.